Hello and welcome to another episode of No Man's Sky. This is episode 9. I'm Snazzy, this is Snazzy Studios 90, and today we're going to be creating the antimatter, which is going to be for the warp cell, which be contained in the inventory. So now I'm going to be going in the inventory and going on to this intersection, which you may have seen at the last episode if you were looking closely at it. But it's not to worry if you haven't. So now what I'm going to do is I'm now going to go to the starship. I'm now going to click on this electron vapor, which obviously doesn't let me do anything. So what I'm going to do for now is I'm now going to click on a certain section and clear something, and then I'm going to make some space, and I'm going to install the antimatter. So I'm now going to press square to craft, click on the antimatter. Yep, so I've got the electron vapor, the iridium, the zinc, yep. And now I'm going to press to build. So now I've got the final ingredient. I'm now going to click on the hyperdrive and click on charge. So then obviously it hasn't got a warp cell yet. So now what I'm going to do is I'm now going to create the finale, which is the warp cell. So now I'm going to click on craft again, and obviously as you can see it hasn't got the finale ingredient, which is the Familinium 9. So I need to get another, literally lead it up to 100. So in order to do that I need to go to the final section, which obviously on the screen here it's obviously now saying I've done the antimatter, I've just got to craft the warp cell. So I've now got to go and find a system software where I can physically go into it and get the final ingredient. So now I'm going to go out into the wilderness and not freeze myself to death or die in the process, like Jekyll and Hyde in some cases, or be popsicles. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to find a certain objective, which as I can see there is a terminal in under 3 minutes. So I'm going to head over to the terminal and grab my final ingredient, but I'm going to save here to be on the safe side. So now I'm going to go and head over to the terminal, and then after that I'm going to head to the ship, which is going to basically take under 27 minutes, which will be in episode obviously 10, but I will be showing parts of that in episode 9 today. So don't you worry, you will see bits of it in this one today. So now I'm going to head down to, well, okay, that was not meant to happen. I'm now going to head towards the terminal, which is now under 3 minutes. So all I need to get is 46 in order to create the warp drive, or the warp cell, whichever way you call it, it doesn't matter, it's not a problem. So I'm now going to head up to the terminal, which is only just up this hill. Should be up this hill, in theory. Sometimes it looks far away than some people could imagine. So I'm going to head towards the section where I can find this terminal in order to collect the final ingredient, which I only need 46. And it's minus 84 point such and such, or 83, depending how it is on this planet. So I'm going to head towards the terminal, head straight towards there, and bush bang bosh gets the final ingredient. And as obviously I've said in many kind of concepts, there will be the new episodes of Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare 2 coming back very soon. It will be probably the end of September, beginning of October, and we'll be exploding more small zombies or plants onto your screens, plus with more gastronomic plant or vegetable humour, or in some cases. So now I'm going to obviously continue to go and get the objective. So now I'm going to head up, further up this hill, because as you can see, the terminal is somewhere along this direction. So we're going to keep heading towards this direction, and by the sounds of it I've got to go up, because there's no way in on this earth, it's down below. which sounds gross in the titlement of its own, because down below is not very nice. It sounds like it's going down in a bunch of load of holes, which in some cases can be mentioned in theories of holing, caving, many different types of what you could imagine, which is not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get the final ingredient. And as many of you probably have seen my previous episodes of other shows, I've mentioned holes in many different occasions, which tend to sound gross, but not very nice and very unfeasible. So I do apologise if it does sound gross, but it's meant to basically sound a bit enthusiast. So I'm going to head down here, and as you can see, there's a round thing on its own. Very lonely, of course, which I feel quite sympathetic for it, but it's just a shopping market on its own. So now I'm going to load into the screen, the trade network, and I'm going to click on buy items. And I'm now going to click to find out if they've got what I need for sale. And as for lucky for me, they have, and I only need 46 bits, says 31. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the 31. If I keep clicking here. So then when I click out of it, I will only need, which will come out on the screen, as it will clearly will show. Eventually when it does show it, but of course we are in the middle of nowhere and it's not very pleasant. Now I'm going to click, well, I'm getting bashed to death. I'm now going to click on the save icon. So now I only need 15 to get my final 46. So I'm going to go over to this trading uplick link, which is open. I am now going to go and find out if I can get what I need available or not. Unfortunately on this occasion I can't on this one because it's only allowed me 31. So I'll need to now find another terminal somewhere along the lines to get me what I need to get. And yes, of course, this is not a bad planet, it's not a dead planet, it's not scary, it's not horrible, it's not horrifying. It's very well relaxed. It's just, you have to find what you need to look for is what you need to look for.
Technology recharge. Technology recharge.
Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm now going to head as if I'm going to head towards my ship and hopefully find another terminal which will be able to give me the feasible amount I need to get my final 15 is what I need to progress. To finally get my warp cells for the warp drive to actually be the ultimate completion. So let's start travelling towards this ship, or shall I say the shelter, which is under, which did confirm it in just a few seconds ago, but it's now disappeared. But as you can see, it says now 21 minutes to get to the starship, which will be featured in the next episode of how to get there in the most safest way without doing that, of course, which isn't a feasible thing to do. But the trouble is, it's never hunky-dory on No Man's Sky. You could be killed, you could be blown up, or you could be just killed by bots which don't really give two flying monkeys whether you're there or not. They'll just kill you anyway. It's just the general gist of the whole entire thing, and it will be shown in episode 8 for like all those who haven't seen it, but will be shown later on in the lives which will be created by me. And I obviously will make all the kind of like amazing shows possible and fun and collective as possible. So as you can see on the screen here, it said the thermal protection keeps going down because it's very cold and freezing. So I've got to find safety in order for it to go back up and go back to normal. These flowers keep your health up and keep your health levels rising. If they don't rise, you die. It's quite simple. If you do die, you have a grave, which is basically the morbid version I'm going to put of, is basically the logo of No Man's Sky. And it sounds really morbid because it's the fact that's how it describes itself, and to be straightforward to the point. And sometimes it's an understatement why people do put that, but then again, there's never a full explanation why there is a picture of a diamond grave on the logo of No Man's Sky, which don't understand why that's the case. But then, what do you do? It's No Man's Sky. It's a game. It is what it is. So as you can see, throughout the vast, beautiful colour planets, there's bareback sides of plants like here. There's beautiful trees with like actual leaves on it, like just before it's become autumn. There's various different sections. You can barely say that you do not tend to describe that is beautiful or is beautiful in another factor of the matter. But no matter how much you address it or you describe it, it is fun, it's incredible, and it's one of those things you can just keep going and keep relaxed and enjoying yourself. And every so often, as you can see on the screen, it'll just keep reminding you need X and X amount of items to complete the warp cell in order to keep proceeding forward. So I'm now going to keep going forward in order to go through. And as you can see, my thermal protection is gone offline. So as you can see, it's this section here. I need a titanium or a shielding shard or a zinc. A zinc will flash gold, quite simply. So now we're going to be hunting through, and if we find a zinc, that will be fantastic, but if we don't, we don't. It's not the end of the world. You always will find something at some point, and that's just how it is, because it is what it is, again. So now what we're going to do is going to keep travelling through this beautiful wilderness, lovely wilderness, even though it's cold and scary damage. And we're going to hopefully find a golden zinc somewhere along the line without crashing through, which I tend to do, which can't be helped, of course. So travelling through this wilderness, finding another shelter to build up what needs to be, not to be, cold damage. So as you can see directly on the screen, I'm heading in direct line of my ship. So long as the dying does stay to a minimum, it will stay to a minimum. It will be a minimum, and it will definitely be a minimum. But as you can see, luckily for me, I found a golden flower, which is zinc. So now what I can do is I can go onto the hazardous protection and charge it up. So now I can physically stay in the blue and not die. Things like that can be very simplistic and so easy to find, but it's not always straightforward. It can be impossible to find. Sometimes it can be easy to find. It depends how you strategize your gameplay and how you do it. The advice is just play it carefully and don't die. And long as you don't die and kill the bots that come along and try and kill you on the planets, you'll be fine. And you'll be fine based on the fact that you survived the entire attack, is the basis of what I'm trying to say. Not saying that you just stand there and die, no. So I'm going to head up this hill and just keep proceeding on as if I'm heading towards the next section. So I'm going to keep heading up and finding a base. A base is just up ahead, so obviously that's going to be the intersection just before the hit towards episode 10, which will be the cleavage point of where we're going to be finally showing you of how to proceed to get your warp cell up and running, and then get it firmly addressed in the right way, where you know how to do it, what to do, and what you shouldn't do, especially when it comes to a jetpack. But as you can see, we're just going to be getting closer and closer to a lovely intersection, which, as you can see, there are trees here. Not all of them are just bare. We're going to keep going through the lovely wilderness. And now what I'm going to do is going to try and get up this hill very, very, very safely. Try to at least. This bit is incredibly marshy, which is what I did earlier, which is quite disgusting and gross. The woodland, well, let's just say it's not very one of the pleasant areas I've been through. So the entrance has just appeared here. The saving point is just round this corner here. So if you need to save at any point at all, it's not very far. It's either round that side or the opposite side of me. So I'm now going to go indoors to be safe.
Temperature levels stabilizing.
And as you can see, it's the same as the one we were in earlier. So as you can see, each one's got this little terminal here, which is not really a terminal, it's just passcodes. If you get it correct, don't know what you get out of it, of course, but rewards are rewards. So anyways, that's it for episode 9. Tune back for episode 10. This is No Man's Sky, and I am Snazzy. This is Snazzy Studios 90. Thank you ever so much for watching. Tune back for episode 10, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you ever so much for watching. Peace out and goodbye.